Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. Today we're going to be looking at another Barbarian item, although it could be used on other characters, known as the Meat Scraper Lochaber axe. The Meat Scraper is actually pretty interesting, to be honest. It has increased attack speed, it's got lifesteal, it's got open wounds, it's got magic find. We've got a lot to go over here. So let's start, shall we? So I have both versions of the item here so that we can definitely take a look at all the aspects of this particular item, not just one. And we have a damage of 18 to 174 on the non-ethereal version, and a damage of 27 to 261 on the eth. Now, the ethereals always have negative 10 to their requirements, so to keep that in mind. So this one has a strength requirement of 70, whereas the regular one has a strength requirement of 80. It's definitely not something that has a very high requirement, and I think you could probably put this on just about anybody. Now, the most interesting thing that pops out to you about this item is the +3 Masteries, so we'll take a look at that in a little bit. But it does have a level requirement of only level 41, which does make it relatively easy to put on a mid-tier mercenary. So +3 Masteries is definitely not +3 Barbarian. But +3 Masteries is going to give you +3 to a lot of things. It's going to give you +3 to your respective mastery that you probably have chosen for your Barbarian. It's going to give you +3 to your increased stamina, +3 to your increased speed, +3 to your iron skin, and +3 to your natural resistance. So it's definitely not a bad thing, +3 Masteries. I feel like a lot of people poo-poo on Masteries, but Masteries does actually give you quite a lot, as most people will at least put 1 point into Iron Skin, they will at least put 1 point into Natural Resistance, they will at least put 1 point into Increased Speed, which means they also have 1 point into Increased Stamina, and they will most likely build one particular Mastery, so you're talking about 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, basically free skill points on those abilities. Now granted, you might not necessarily want 3 more points in increased stamina, but the rest of the stuff is certainly very nice, and I wouldn't say no to. We have 30% increased attack speed on this weapon, which is always nice to have on a weapon. I feel like when you find a weapon that doesn't have increased attack speed on it, it really kind of limits its options. We have 200% enhanced defense, which does vary by 50%, so we're looking at 150 to 200% variance on this. We have 10% lifesteal, which is a rather high amount for level 41, and I think it will come in handy for some specific purposes. We've got 50% chance of open wounds, which is really, really nice. Open wounds is a 8-second bleed, which is based on the character's level, and will prevent the monster's regeneration while it is in effect. And in the old version, there are lots of nice blood splatters on the floor, too, for graphic effect. We also have 25% chance of magic items, which is definitely very nice to have on a weapon, a polearm. You could use this on a mercenary to increase your magic find. How it works is if you have 200% magic find on yourself and 25% on your mercenary, and your mercenary makes the killing blow, you will get 225% for that particular kill. So having magic find on your mercenary's equipment is certainly not a bad thing. So if you happen to find an ethereal meat scraper, maybe think about using it on your mercenary. Now, the ethereal version certainly has more damage, but it's not like a super huge bonus. And I feel like this weapon really is a mid-tier weapon with the level 41 requirement, the mid-tier damage, and just in general, it doesn't really seem like that great a weapon for a higher level character. However, we can upgrade it. So let's take a look at what it would be if we upgrade it to its next form. So for that purpose, we're going to need Lumbrune, Pulrune, and a Perfect Emerald, and we're going to start with the non-ethereal version. So one more time, let's just go over the stats. So 18 to 174, 80 strength requirement, and a level requirement of 41. And if we upgrade this, we go to 84 damage on the low end, 435 on the top end, 75 dexterity requirement, 195 strength, and level 52 requirement. Now that 195 strength is going to be a killer, because if this was useful on a mercenary before you upgraded it, the 195 strength is going to make it relatively unusable on a mercenary, and that is a really big downside. Let's go ahead and upgrade the ethereal version as well, and we'll take a look at the damage and the level requirements on that. So 227 to 261 with 70 strength and 41 level requirement. to 126 to 651 with a dexterity of 65, strength requirement of 185, and a level of 52. Now, at level 52, I don't know any mercenaries that have 185 strength. So you're probably going to have to find some other way to put this on a mercenary, like putting an equipment on him that has plus to strength, maybe socketing this with a hell rune. Unfortunately, socketing with a hell rune does not actually make it usable on a mercenary. It actually does the opposite. It turns red when you put it on the mercenary if they don't have enough equipment. I've been told by several people that if you leave the game and come back with the item on the mercenary, they will be able to wield it. But if you take the item and put it back on, it turns red again. So that seems like a workaround. I feel like it just doesn't do enough damage as an upgraded item to really be super worth it. But it is really low at level 52 requirement. And I feel like if you were one of those high strength barbarians, or you happen to have some equipment that gave large amounts of strength, this could come in handy at level 52, because at level 52 there's not a lot better items out there. Specifically for a mercenary, if you did find the ethereal version, I feel like 10% increased attack speed, along with the 50% chance of open wounds and the 25% better magic items, all of that is really going to stack up to some very interesting mercenary effects. I mean, the 10% lifesteal is certainly going to make them more survivable. The magic find is certainly going to be nice to help out your finding of items early on in the game. And just as a dramatic effect here, let's see if we can get some of this bleeding going on. So the bleeding only really works in the original game. But when the bleeding happens, you'll see nice little puddles appear underneath the monster's feet, which I always thought was pretty funny. Not really sure if undead can bleed. Let's go to an area where there are monsters that I know have blood. Yes. Blood. Bleed, little demons. Bleed. Oh, I've already killed these particular demons? Well, there's going to be some more up here. There's no more demons? What kind of area is this with no demons? There's some demons. What's up? You like to bleed? Make you bleed. Bleed. Bleed, one of you. There you go. Nice and bloody. Oh, yeah, yeah. Burn. That's right. Bleed. Bleed. You'll see in the original game that the bleeding does actually occur, but it is nowhere near as dramatic as it is in the original game. You could sort of see the effect, sort of like little red splotches kind of come out of the monsters, but it's not really as dramatic as the original, and it's quite sad. The other interesting thing is that Prevent Monster Heal does not work on mercenaries, and Open Wounds is an alternative to Prevent Monster Heal. So if you were to put this item on a mercenary, that 50% Open Wounds would help you to keep monsters from regenerating. I don't know whether or not this could actually be useful in a Uber run, but 50% Open Wounds would certainly help to keep the monsters from regenerating if you could keep your mercenary alive. I don't know if specifically this item would be the right item for that. Maybe used in tandem with some more defensive equipment, perhaps, but I doubt it. As always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, and if you're interested in finding this item, it's a relatively easy item to find, with a relatively low TC class, which means it's going to drop in most of Nightmare difficulty, as well as all of Hell difficulty, from just about every monster. And as always, thanks for watching.